Lesser Spotted Memories. Sponsored by Glens of Antrim Potatoes. Grown for you.
They just throw it back in and sit. You don't get the taste until you swallow it.
Is it not a nice taste?
Oh, gee, it's awful.
2 hands?
No, I don't think so. No, they more or less have one under one arm, more or less. Yes, that's more like that's more like it there. Not more like that, very relaxed looking.
Right.
That's more like it there.
You should have been further up here throwing your banner down the hill.
Here just ram.
Right on down, left on up, because you love them on the top of it.
It's hard to believe that 18 years have gone by since I first set out to explore the vastness of rural Ulster. Now, I don't use the word vastness in any ironic sense, because even though we do live in a relatively small corner of the earth, it has a quite extraordinary range of land and seascapes. Mountains and valleys, rivers and lakes, forest and bogland, coastal cliffs and sandy shores, all liberally sprinkled with towns and villages and hamlets and homesteads. And that's only on the surface. We have a saying here on Lesser Spotted Ulster: stay small and dig deep, because it's only in doing that that you'll begin to unearth the unique character of each place and of the people who've inhabited this province for centuries, indeed for millennia. So my 18 years is but a fleeting moment in that context. Nevertheless, I feel the need to look back, find a few bearings, and take stock perhaps of where I've been and what I've learnt since those first few tentative steps in the Glenelly Valley in County Tyrone. What I tried to learn at the outset was how to disguise my urban origins, my relative ignorance of rural custom and practice. And in this regard, I encountered many a good teacher, like Joe McGurk, who introduced me to the time-honoured tradition of distinctive names, or nicknames if you like, a way of telling your McGarveys from your McGarveys.
This townland here, you've got the McGarveys, McCullers and the McBrides. So we'll just start up at the top of the townland. You've got Hughie McGarvey. Now his nickname, or what we might or you might call it a nickname, we called it a distinctive name, is Hughie James Hughie.
James Hughie.
Hughie James Hughie.
Hughie James Hughie.
So in other words, if you're an Englishman come along and says, I'd like to talk to Hugh James Hugh, right? We wouldn't know who that man was, but if you said Hughie James Hughie, we would know your man.
Hughie James Hughie.
Hughie James Hughie.
Would you know all of the families in the entire length of the valley by their nicknames?
No, I know every family and the nicknames. All top at Glenkeel here, you've got Hugh McGarvey, they've got McGarvey family, known as Hughie James Hughie. You've got the McGarvey family, again, beside it. Johnny James John, no relation to Hughie, James Hughie. And then you had the Johnny Jamies. Now the Johnny Jamies, they were cousins of Hughie James Hughie's, you know, and they were called McGarvey also. Well, then you have got the McBrides, you've got Mickey Giannetti, and then you've got John Nettie. Now he's a brother of Mickey Giannetti's, but he's just called John Nettie. Because, and then you have the McConnells over here. They called him Francis Charlie McConnell, because his father was called Charlie. You've got John McGarvey down here, and they called him John Mickey. And if you wanted a longer version, John Mickey Charlie. And John knows that's his name because his father was Mickey and his grandfather again was Charlie.
3 years later, having memorised every distinctive name in the Glenelly Valley, I headed down to the village of Plumbridge, conscious that I needed a prop of some sort to further disguise that suave urban aura that still clung to me. William Pinkerton sold everything from ice cream to goat's pyjamas. Surely here I'd acquire that authentic rustic stamp, whatever that might be. Is there any point in somebody like me buying one of these at all?
Oh, certainly. Why not? For you can use that stick for working with sheep. You can use it. Sure, it's nice to go out and even catch that for a walk there. Or you can hang it up in the living room, hang it up somewhere for the lantern or the hallway, anywhere at all for an ornament. It's nice to hang up.
If I were to walk around Plumbridge with this, you don't think people would...
No, they'll just see us. Bought it and Pinkerton's there. Pinkerton got a sale this evening again.
I sold that critter.
I sold that critter there. They've probably done them to the teeth on it, but what odds?
They wouldn't laugh?
No, I wouldn't, no.
You don't think so?
I would laugh, surely, aye.
If you buy a bar of Rock and Portrush, at least you can eat it. What do you do with a shepherd's crook? Thankfully, as I make my way back up the Glenelly Valley, only the sheep are laughing. Sheep are big business here, and sheepdog trials. Paddy Joe Kearney here is an expert at that. Trouble is, he has one big handicap. You can't whistle at all?
Can't whistle.
Did you ever try to whistle?
I did. I tried. I may have maybe if it was in close to me, I would have a short whistle, just a wee quick whistle like that, but I can't. I just can't whistle.
You grew up in a place where shepherding was
Yes.
very much one of the jobs that you'd be expected to do.
Oh, aye, oh, aye.
And when did you first realise that you couldn't whistle, that you weren't going to be able to whistle?
I remember watching my father putting his two fingers in his mouth like that there, and you'd hear him 2 miles away. I watched him and I tried it, and all I could get was just a blow. I couldn't get a sound at all. And I see plenty of people doing different ways.
I can't do that.
And I can't do it. I bought the small dog whistle. No good, I just can't get it.
I have bought myself a shepherd's crook. I mean, do you not feel the need to, whenever you're shouting at the dog, do you lean on something?
No, I haven't the patience. I couldn't stand in one place. I'm moving around. I couldn't. When I'm shouting at the dog, I'm moving back and forward.
Right.
Maybe the dog's disappearing out of sight, so I just couldn't. I couldn't stand at the post for 5 minutes and lean on it, so I couldn't.
That's what they do, really, isn't it?
Yes, that's what they do.
They lean on it?
Yes, they lean on it.
Is there a way of leaning on it particularly?
There is. Mostly all is. I don't know. Again, I haven't used it, but they seem to have an arc and leaning on the stick.
Two hands?
No, I don't think so. No, they more or less have one under one arm, more or less. Yes, that's more like that's more like it there. Not more like that, very relaxed looking.
Right.
That's more like it there.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
So all you need to do is stick the fingers
all you have
in
to
the
do now
mouth.
is
Hereby.
get the collie and
Right.
a bit of practice and you'll be there.
Okay.
I was greatly heartened by Paddy Joe's inability to emit piercing whistles. I had met a kindred spirit, and on his advice, I discarded the shepherd's crook in favour of a good stout pair of wellies. These enabled me to boldly go to places I'd never been to before, and to collect things, the memory of which makes me shudder to this very day.
Now this is the bogbean, or bogbine plant as it might be called hereabouts, and you'll find it growing along lake margins or generally marshy or boggy land. And in the Middle Ages, an infusion made from the bogbine plant was recommended as a cure for scurvy. And in the north of England, the bitter-tasting leaves of the plant were often used to flavour the beer if the bitter wasn't bitter enough. And here in Ireland, it's considered a very efficacious plant indeed, and if picked at the right time of the year, say towards the end of February, and if treated properly and drunk throughout the month of March, it's supposed to purify the blood and get rid of boils. Now, call me cynical, but I suspect that the bogbine elixir is particularly foul-tasting, and has accorded all these health-giving properties on the time-honoured but dubious principle that anything that tastes or smells disgusting is bound to do you good. Well, we shall see.
John McClafferty of Downings has been gathering, brewing and drinking the stuff ever since he was a small child, and he swears by it. Well, he would have to, wouldn't he? Otherwise, he'd have suffered a life of pain needlessly.
And do you recommend it?
Well, I think it's very good for the blood, you know.
Yes.
Right enough.
I mean, you think it keeps you healthy?
It does. For the ear, you know, saying it clears the blood up for you, do you know?
Yeah. You don't have any boils or spots or anything like that, you know.
But
Unblemished.
They want a drop of it.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you.
And I'll give you a drop of it.
It smells a bit, how would you describe that smell? It's a bit like aniseed or licorice or something like that.
Something like that, that's right.
Right, okay.
That's right.
It looks like something you got out of a sump.
But it's that's one thing, it's healthy.
It's dark green, right. Would you show me how this is done? I mean, I'd like you to drink it first, in other words.
I just throw it back and that's it. You don't get the taste until you swallow it.
Is it not a nice taste?
Oh, gee, it's awful.
Go on, have a go with it. All right. This looks like torture.
Well, it'll stay there for a couple of hours, you know.
What the taste will? You all right?
No, grand.
You survived that all right?
No problem at all. I'm quite used to that.
Well, that was very interesting. Thanks very much indeed, John.
Do you want to taste it?
That's better. Right, hold it.
Maybe you want,
A very small
you want to
amount.
clean this.
No, not at all. No, I'm hoping for the point of cleaning that and pouring this into it. Okay, here we go.
Oh no, that'll be very easy for you to taste, you know.
You think so?
Aye,
You
not
won't
that much in it, you know. Just throw it
I
back.
pretended to myself that it was something like, one of those aniseed drinks, maybe. Oh, God. How do you drink that?
No problem at all, you know.
That is bound to be good for you.
Well, now, what they always say, what's sour for the mouth is good for the heart, you know.
I'm telling you, that is the most disgusting thing I have ever tasted in my entire life.
It must be all right.
Right, and I think that
Yeah.
I think rather than waste the rest of it, I
Aye.
think we should pour it back into the bottle again.
No, I'll drink it, really.
Will you drink it yourself?
Oh, God,
You're a
sure.
glutton for punishment.
No problem
Yeah,
at all.
heart like a lion.
No problem at all, you know.
And how many bottles of this would you make, John?
Not far away from John McClafferty's house was Island Roy, a place that you can reach these days by a causeway, but which in times past you could only get to when the tide was in by wading through water or by walking on stilts. Boat builder Anton McBride demonstrated their simple manufacture and their use.
What about that? That's the way it's done. This one's going to break. Oh, I think I deserve it. Right, thanks for showing me up, Anton. Practice. Practice, okay. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite easy.
Leaving aside the welly boots, which were a wise investment, you'll no doubt have remarked by now on the otherwise horrendously ill-advised sartorial get-up of the inexperienced explorer. Well, worse is still to come. Or maybe you'll think it an improvement when we come back.
Lesser Spotted Memories. Sponsored by Glens of Antrim.